Hi guys, today I wanted to tell you the story of a man named Lee Lorch. I just recently heard of him. Have you already heard of him? There's a chance I'm not much of a history buff, so maybe everybody else has already heard of Lee Lorch and I'm just getting on that train. But I thought his story was very interesting. He was a civil rights activist in Manhattan. He was one of the very first ones, and he discovered that there was segregation in his own housing development where he lived, and he fought that. He said, we need to desegregate our housing development. And his work in that neighborhood ended up leading to laws in our country that housing discrimination is illegal. But he lost his job as a result of his civil rights work. And he ended up moving to the South, and he became a mathematics professor for some Black colleges in the South. And his biggest contribution there was teaching the Black young and women in those universities that they could be mathematicians. And he mentored some of them to go on and become the first PhDs in mathematics, both men and women. And his work was so valuable for the civil rights movement. He lost his job as a result of it. It didn't go well for him, and it wasn't easy for him. But when somebody in 2010, when he was 94 years old, asked him, Mr. Lorch, what would you do differently with your life if you could go back and do it again? He said, I would do more and better of the same. And oh boy, that caught my attention. More and better of the same. Lee Lorch was a role model for us for the way he loved Black Americans. He knew he could make a difference. He wanted to make a difference, and he stepped up and did that. And he was not perfect in every way. He had some ideas about the way the government should work that I don't agree with. But what he did to show love to the Black community was so valuable. More and better of the same. And that has got me to thinking, what could I do with my life that at the end of my life I would say, you know what? More and better of the same. That's all I would ask for. I got to thinking about a couple verses I wanted to share with you today. First of all, in 1 Corinthians 13, that's the chapter about love. Love is patient, love is kind. It talks all about love. And then near the end of the chapter, Paul moves into talking about what it will be like for us when our eyes are opened and we can see the whole of reality, not just physical reality, but also spiritual realities with eyes that are clear. And he says that when that time comes, these three will remain. We will see that these three are still true above all else: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Jesus talks about love a lot. In Matthew 22, verses 36 through 40, a Pharisee comes and tries to trap him and says, what is the greatest commandment? Which one above all else? Is it do not murder? Is it honor your mother and father? Is it don't commit adultery? And Jesus says, the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And he says, the second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. Do you think love is fluffy, silly, kind of a strange thing to focus your attention on? Because Jesus knew that it was the most important thing above all else: love. If we come to the end of our lives and we have loved well, if we have loved the Lord well, if we have loved our families well, if we have loved our communities, broken people, needy people, people just like us and people entirely different from us, if we have loved well, then we will say more and better of the same. How can you love somebody today? You know what I think you can do to love someone well today? We tend to shrug it off as kind of a cop-out. It's not a cop-out. Pray for someone today. Isn't it funny how we tend to think, oh, I didn't know what else to do, so I prayed. No, it is powerful and effective. It's one of the best things you can do for someone. I'm pausing for a second thinking, is it the best thing we can do for someone? I think it might be, because God is the one who has the power, the ability to work out amazing and beautiful things in their life. And when we pray for them, that's how we can be part of God's work in their life. Pray for someone today. Love them. Send them a message and say, I prayed for you. My prayer for you guys is that you will come to the end of your lives and say, more and better of the same. I spent my life loving well. That's the best I would have asked for. Thanks, guys. This has been your Tuesday Talk. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'll talk to you later.